Yo, hey, what's happening everybody? Alex with you here again as usual. Thanks for dropping by. I've sort of been MIA for a couple of months. For those of you guys who have been following my videos, probably have noticed some inactivity for a while. It's just been busy, very chaotic with life and trying to raise the kids, especially raising the baby. It's just a lot of work. I actually forgot what it's like to be around a baby since my son is now almost 6, and having a newborn again is basically so time consuming that sacrifices are being made left and right. And unfortunately, one of the biggest sacrifices that I don't necessarily want to do is sacrificing the time that I would otherwise be able to share my knowledge and share my enthusiasm with you guys, the chess community. Unfortunately, I feel sad to say that I just haven't had the time. I haven't even had the time to play chess as much as I'd love to. As sad as it is for you guys to see me so infrequently, it's even more sad for me because I just don't really have the time. But such is life, and we just have to make do with what we have. Anyways, in today's video, I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible. I've had a lot of people, even recently, ask me, like, with regards to the Chestnut company's products. Which one would I recommend? Would I recommend, for example, the Chestnut Pro over the Chestnut Evo? Or would I recommend the Chestnut Air versus the Chestnut Air Plus or the Chestnut Go? For that matter, Chestnut has in fact been one of the busiest chess companies, in my opinion, recently with the marketing. Hikaru Nakamura became the global chess ambassador for Chestnut, which is like really, really cool. And they've been really taking their product seriously, in my opinion. So with that being said, a lot of people, especially with the holidays coming up now, given that it's October, it'll be Christmas soon, people might be looking for gift ideas and whatnot. They're looking for answers. And I know I've done many Chestnut videos before, but I wanted to take a moment of your time to basically kind of sum up my sort of opinion and what I feel like it's like owning a Chestnut product, because I've owned them, pretty much all of them, except the Chestnut Air Plus, which is essentially kind of like the Chestnut Air. The original Chestnut Air that we see here is basically what jump-started it all. This was the company's first board, and in my opinion, it was an excellent board, very successful in so many ways, without really any glitches. It functioned really well. It basically gave people what they were looking for. It was, in my opinion, kind of a response to the Square Off. The Square Off at the time, I believe, had their Square Off Pro, the roll-up board, which gave people the ability to play on a tournament-sized board with LED lights and pretty much everything that they needed. So Chestnut has made LED lights on a smaller board with no glitches, with everything working pretty flawlessly, in my opinion. You could connect this via USB-C to your computer. You could run this with Fritz. You can play online. I mean, there was just so many cool things you could do with that board, and you still can. So, in my opinion, even to this day, in 2024, in October, I think this is really a great product for anybody that's looking for sort of a multi-versatile chessboard that has all the connectivities that you need, while having a very small footprint. Not as small as the Chestnut Go, but relatively small, light, together with the pieces and the bag. It's very portable for anybody that's looking for an electronic chessboard on the go. If you compare the size of this chessboard to something like the DGT Pegasus, which is, in my opinion, I think is slightly bigger, or the DGT Centaur, which is a lot bigger, basically you're getting a really good mobile option here for any people out there that are doing a lot of traveling and want a solid option. The Chestnut Air retails, I think, on the website for about $249, somewhere in that price range. But as we know, the Chestnut company has been running a lot of sales, and given that we have holidays coming up, they're probably going to boost those sales even more, so you're very likely to be able to get this board maybe even under $200. So that would be fantastic as something that, you know, at the end of 2024 you could finally get your hands on one of these. That would be pretty cool. So very good product. However, recently this year, or what was it, earlier this year or something, we've seen the Chestnut Go come out as sort of a response to people that wanted something more mobile. The biggest difference between the Chestnut Air and the Chestnut Go, besides the weight difference, is just how slick and portable this particular product is. As you see, I'm raising the Chestnut Air here. I'm not even raising the pieces themselves. Together with their Chestnut Air bag, the pieces and everything, it's not really that big, but there is something smaller. And for some of you guys, something smaller like this may make a difference, especially those that want something to fit in their backpack. So I have my think tank. This is a sync backpack that I use to store my camera. So a lot of times if I'm traveling or going somewhere, this backpack is, I just dump the camera here and that's about all I take with me, but it's not your usual type of backpack. But a school backpack, for example, we've seen nowadays they always have a compartment for like a laptop in the back, and I've had, for example, the Swiss Army, the Pegasus, that's the one I had for a while. You could really take something like this and just pop it in here. Like, you can put it in here, close it up, and take it with you. So whether you're traveling or, you know, visiting your friends or something, you could always be prepared to have your chessboard with you at times when maybe you don't have anything to do and you want to play a game of chess. There you have it. By the way, I did want to answer a question to somebody who asked me whether or not you can play this board when you don't have reception. Yes, you can. I've tried it this morning. In fact, I laid this board out and I connected it to my Android phone, and I then turned my Android phone into airplane mode, started the app. As long as your phone can connect via Bluetooth, which most phones do, you can play with the AI, which means you can play with the computer. I don't think a computer is... I thought before that the computer would need to constantly get information from online, but it worked with mine. So give it a try if you have one of these boards. If you have a Chestnut board, give it a try. Let me know if it works with you. So in situations where you might be outside of the normal reception zone, you should be able to play your games against the computer, against the AI, without a problem. But anyways, back to this. We didn't have the Chestnut Go when the Chestnut Air came out. So the choice was simple when the Chestnut Air came out. It was Chestnut Air or another product. And given that Chestnut Air offered us so much, you know, the LED lights, the connectivity, the seamless connectivity that we've seen, everything that works so well with it, this was a no-brainer. Everybody would want one of these if they wanted a Chestnut product. However, given now that we have both the Chestnut Air, plus we have the Chestnut Air Plus now, which is sort of like a combination between the Chestnut Pro and the Chestnut Air in a Chestnut Air size, we have a lot to choose from, okay? And given that we have the Chestnut Go now, which I've been really, really happy with, I feel like if I had to choose between the Chestnut Air, the Chestnut Air Plus, and the Chestnut Go for a traveling needs, I would almost have to say that if you are doing a lot of traveling and you want your chessboard on the go with you, it probably would make sense to consider the Chestnut Go over the Chestnut Air, just because of the footprint. It's smaller, it's more compact, it's lighter, and it essentially gives you the same that you would get with the Chestnut Air. Just the pieces and the board is a little bit smaller, but they're still big enough for you to play a very reasonable game. So if you're a traveler now in 2024, given that we have so many options, I would say the Chestnut Go is going to be my choice. The price difference as of like MSRP, I guess, between the Chestnut Air Plus, the Chestnut Go. So the Chestnut Air, I think, is $249 on the Chestnut webpage. The Chestnut Pro, I think, is $399, which is a little bit steep for the size, and essentially it's the same thing as the Chestnut Air, it's just all wooden, and it's at a steeper price. And I don't really see many people opting for that because it's just more expensive. But the reason why it's more expensive, I think they just made like a limited quantity of them, so maybe they just want people to be getting these instead. Anyways, this retails for like $179, so definitely a lot less expensive than this one. And you get the same options. You get pretty much the same gameplay, the same everything, just a little bit smaller pieces. Then you get the magnetic connectivity with this, which allows you to play your games holding the board at an angle, I think what they were saying, like 70 degrees or something. I tested mine at approximately maybe 45, and I felt like it was sufficient enough to where your pieces wouldn't slide or anything. So for traveling purposes, I'd go with the Go for sure. So now that we've got the smaller boards sort of out of the way, let's talk about Chestnut Pro in 2024. The Chestnut Pro, I think, came out, well, it's already been over 2 years now, I think. The Chestnut Pro, in my opinion, came out as a response to some of the DGT boards to sort of corner that market. The DGT boards, as we know, are high-quality products, but a lot of them come without any LED light indications or anything, besides like the DGT Pegasus, the DGT Centaur. They're more user-friendly, but like the bigger Bluetooth or the USB or USB DGT boards that we've seen, even the one that I've reviewed, the plastic one, there's no LED indicators. There's really nothing besides you being able to connect the board to some kind of a computer, and those boards, the DGT is mainly aiming to provide those boards for more serious players who need their boards to provide them with specific functionality, like connecting a bunch of boards in a tournament together, as we've seen like the grandmasters play on those boards and things. More of a cut and dry type of thing, so that provide business-like approach to chess and not a home approach that most of us need. They didn't seem to think that LED lights were necessary in those boards, and so Chestnut basically came up with a board that's similar in size, provided us with online functionality, all the connectivity that we've seen, being able to connect this board just like you would with a DGT board. You could connect this to Fritz, you can use this with many different programs, and you had LED lights, which was awesome. You had LED lights, you had LED indicators on the side, you have the internal battery, you had it all essentially. So in my opinion, this was a response to DGT, and they did it really well. When I reviewed this initially, I thought, this is awesome. This is an awesome board. I think still that this is one of the best boards there are, and you've got, for this particular product, the Chestnut Pro, you've got different chess pieces. You've got the standard Staunton chess pieces. You've got the luxury chess pieces that we see here. You've got different varieties essentially that allow you to customize this particular product to your needs. So if you're one of those people that routinely play somewhere in a club situation or a club setting, and you come home and at the end of the day you wish to have that same experience playing on a nice large tournament size board, your games that maybe you have your community, and that community meets, like we have in Louisville, I think our community meets at 9 p.m. every Thursday to play some games. Maybe you're part of some community somewhere online and you guys play regularly, and you wish to replicate the same feel, maybe even make it a little bit more luxurious in your own house, sipping a cup of coffee or whatever. You have it. I think that in that particular situation, the Chestnut Pro might be ideal for you. The LED indicators are really nice and clear, and the board works just as flawlessly as the Chestnut Air. I've loved using this board, and if I had to choose between which board I would use, whether at home I would choose to use the Chestnut Air, the Chestnut Go, or the Chestnut Pro, I would say if I had the time and space, which I do, I would prefer to use the Chestnut Pro for playing online games, just because you have more real estate, things are bigger and easier to see. So if you have the space at home and you want that nice luxury feel of a DGT board with extra options that you need, the Chestnut Pro is the board for you. I think it retails for approximately somewhere in the price range of $629 or $699. I think it might be $699. And of course, as I said before, Chestnut's always running sales. They're always running great deals, especially for the holidays. Might be the most ideal time for you to get yourself one of these. If you've been looking to purchase a Chestnut Pro for like a year now, or as a gift for somebody, right up coming up holidays and everything, perfect time to get one of these. So this is a great product. It's made well. I've played many games on it, and it's a quality build product, so I really like it. Now let's move on to the Chestnut Evo. Chestnut Evo came out after the Chestnut Pro, but before the Chestnut Go. And we've seen this board. It's a great board. It's probably the most intelligent board out of all their lineup. As we've seen before in my videos and maybe in some other people's videos, what makes this product particularly appealing to a lot of people is the fact that you don't really need a phone. So how I could see this particular product being sort of better than many of the other ones is the user interface is integrated into the board, so you don't really need to use a phone, and the connection between the user interface here, the computer, is all working together. Meaning that you don't really need to be looking for any connection options. If you're buying a particular board for, let's say, playing chess for a child or somebody who might not otherwise have a cell phone, then this might make things easier for them, because once fully set up, you can just leave this board for wherever they want to play it, and they don't have to mess around with having to connect an outside device with their board. Everything just kind of works. Make sure you have it charged, turn it on, and you're ready to go. For that particular reason, I feel like if I had to recommend a board for somebody that's looking for like a gift for their family member, and they don't want that family member to be messing around with electronics too much, this might be a great board for them. In addition, of course, as we've seen before, this is Chestnut's smartest board. So we have seen so many different ways that you can use this board with different applications. And the career mode, the analysis mode, it's just, this board has the greatest potential in my opinion, especially if the Chestnut company continues to improve the software end of things. We could see more and more software integrations. So if I had to choose a board out of all the Chestnut boards with the greatest potential for essentially being more future-proof, I would probably say the Chestnut Evo is the board. With this board, not only do you get a chance to play games online, you play games offline, but you'll also have a chance to use Chessable and ChessKid. You can watch videos, you can learn chess games, you can learn chess openings. You can do a lot more with this board because it's got this sort of integrated computer. I think it retails for approximately similar price to the Chestnut Pro, but we are looking at a much different size. The Chestnut Pro is a sort of a tournament size board. It's got big, large squares, whereas the Chestnut Evo has a more compact size that kind of more or less resembles the size of the Chestnut Air, as you see here. But initially when the Chestnut Air came out, I thought that the size of the board was just right for this particular product, and I didn't even think, oh, I wish they would have made a bigger board. Lastly, I think that, you know, it all boils down to a price. If I had to purchase these boards and I did not have a single board, I would probably say, for me, just like for you, just like for anybody, price matters. If I was really on a budget, I would probably say that I would stick to either the Chestnut Go or the Chestnut Air. And then the question really would boil down, do I need a board that I would likely travel with? Which is the Chestnut Go would be the choice, or even in a situation where you just like to have a board sort of like this maybe. You like to hold it like a book. You don't want to keep it on the table always, but you want to have a board that maybe you want to put on your lap or something, that you might be having an uneven surfaces or whatnot. Chestnut Go pretty much got you covered there. I think that if you want a slightly bigger sort of chessboard experience with slightly bigger pieces and just a little bit more expensive, the Chestnut Air is still a very, very solid option. If you wanted something that's bigger and you wanted something that's tournament sized, I'd go with the Chestnut Pro. And if you wanted sort of the computer experience with more integrations, more features, I'd say consider the Chestnut Evo at this time. As much as I enjoy making videos of chess sets and especially electronic chessboards, recently I feel like there's just not been as much interest in chess. Maybe not in the game of chess itself, but in the chess products. I feel like we're getting further and further away from the Queen's Gambit, and I feel like the Queen's Gambit jump-started curiosity and interest in a lot of people back in, what was it, 2020 or something like that. And so I feel like because of that, sales have probably dropped. There's just not many people that are looking for new chess sets. Probably the reason why not many people are stopping by to check out my videos, which is fine. I understand the trend has to go somewhere. But with that being said, I feel like Chestnut has been sort of holding strong. They've released so many different products. The Chestnut Go has been really awesome. And they're really listening to what people are saying with regards to like the feedback that they're getting from not only their own products, but other people's products as well. And I think that going forward, I feel very optimistic about Chestnut continuing to manufacture different boards. Honestly, if I was to have given a suggestion to the company, any company really, in my opinion, going forward, maybe not immediately within the next year, but what I think would be really, really awesome is if we could have, and I mean, this might just be me wishful thinking, but if we could have something as advanced as the Chestnut Evo, which I know the Chestnut Evo here, I think has a microphone option too, which is really cool. But maybe if we could have like a little tiny foldable camera that could fold right into the surface here, which could come up. And then when you're playing against a game against somebody, let's say that somebody that also has this particular product, the camera would come up and then it would have a sort of a wide angle of view, and you could have an image of a live video footage of the person that you're playing your chess game with. Of course, there are questions with privacy and all that type of stuff, so maybe you wouldn't video connect with just about everybody, but I feel like that could be a pretty cool option, because if let's say I'm playing with somebody that I know, whether it's a friend or an acquaintance, it would be kind of cool if I could have at least some kind of a camera option while I'm playing a physical game that would get me that much closer to having that authentic feel of playing with them in the same room, where they could actually talk to you and you could see them thinking about the chess moves or whatnot. I mean, that would make it closer. Like the camera option may be something that we'll see in the future, but at this time, I feel like Chestnut is probably one of the strongest companies. We have, of course, DGT, and DGT is making their chessboards, but more mainly for like official tournaments and that kind of stuff. They've been making a lot of chess clocks, which I think is a great idea. A lot of people need chess clocks, and really good chess clocks are a game changer for a lot of people, not only on the professional level, but anybody needs a nice chess clock if you're playing, you know, any type of tournament, whether it's a club or somewhere else. But DGT is not really, you know, making you user-friendly boards for home use as often as Chestnut. Square Off's been kind of weird lately as far as online. I went to their website. They're still saying that their new products are like the Square Off Pro, the roll-up board, and then the Square Off Kingdom, which is like, I think 6 or something years old. It's one of their very first boards, and they still have those products sort of on the front page more or less, which is kind of weird. And now they're selling this weird looking rolling talking kids robot called Miko. It's really weird. I looked at it and I was like, what? Does this robot play chess? So then I googled the Miko robot, and apparently you can buy them anywhere. So I don't think it's a Square Off like exclusive product. Square Off sells it for $149, and then I think on Amazon you can get it for $99. So I don't know why there's such a significant markup on the Square Off webpage, and why they're selling a non-chess product. Maybe they're just trying to attract more kids to their website as sort of a way to bring in more people in general. So I'm not sure what they're doing there. Maybe they're just not selling enough chess products at this time, and I don't know. I would probably say that I don't know. Like, and another thing on the Square Off webpage is that on their other category of upcoming boards, they have the Swap and the Neo, and we've already seen the Swap and the Neo. I've reviewed them like close to 2 years ago. I don't know. I don't think they update their page, and I'm just not sure about Square Off. But once again, it all has to do with the demand. If there's very little demand for these chess products, if people would rather prefer to play online on their phone or whatnot, then there's just going to be not many new innovative chessboards out there. So props to Chestnut for really taking the time to make new products for us. Now, of course, we have the Chessup. Chessup 2 has been making good boards. They have the Chessup 1, and then now they have Chessup 2. I'm sure some of you guys have seen Chessup 2. I have not had the opportunity to test the board out, unfortunately, because I have not yet bought a board. But I've seen the Chessup 2, and it's sort of a kind of an integrated chess.com type of thing with an actual little tiny screen, sort of similar to the Chestnut Evo, but the screen is smaller, and then on the screen you have the option of having seamless connectivity, and I think it might be another one of those boards which does not require a phone for you to connect. Really cool idea. I think that more and more boards will become sort of independent as we move into the future, and I'd love to be able to review more boards as they come out. Unfortunately, like I said, I've just been really busy with the family, with the kids. It's just been really, really tough. But let me know what you think about all these products. I know we've reviewed all of these chessboards before. Let me know how you're doing, whether you're still playing chess, whether you have the time. I wish I had more time to play chess. I tell myself every day, if only I had a few extra minutes, I would be able to play. But somehow the day kind of gets away from me. There's only so many minutes in the day. Be sure, if you're interested in checking out all the Chestnut products, follow the links below. I will include the promo code that you can use to get yourself some great discounts. So be sure not to forget to use those promo codes, so that way you can maximize the amount of savings in case you are thinking about getting this for yourself or as a gift for somebody. Follow the links below and get yourself one of these awesome boards. Anyways, I do hope that I will start being able to make chess videos more frequently now, but no promises.